fans, Anchorpete here, and I'm with my wife, Shari T. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we're here for a live, quick review of the second Dune trailer. So, Shari, you and I, one of our first videos that we did together was the trailer for the first trailer for this movie, right?
Yeah.
And that was way back on September 13th of 2020. So this movie's been like pushed back a few times.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of complaining about that.
Yeah, and then there also was the kind of complaining about, is it going to be on HBO Max? Is it going to be in theaters? And so they've come up with the resolution that's going to be available on HBO Max and also in theaters.
Okay.
But you know, for me, I'm definitely going to the theaters to see this one.
Yeah. I think people who want that spectacle are going to want the theaters. It'll still make money in theaters for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last time we did this, I talked about how I felt, and then you talked about how you felt. You want to do it that way too, or do you want to take the lead this time?
Sure. I definitely do not want to take the lead on this.
Okay. All right. So I've seen a couple of people complaining about the imagery from this movie, especially when there were the posters of the individual characters, right? And people, I think, were complaining that the characters looked kind of bland, or they didn't think that the art design was that compelling, right? And my response to that was, have you ever seen a Denis Villeneuve movie that you were disappointed in? For me, the answer to that question is no. I've enjoyed every movie I've seen of Denis Villeneuve's, and I think that he's taking something that's so fantastic, so removed from reality. So a story that takes place like in the year 10,191, right? And he's making it look as realistic as possible. And I think that in itself is a huge challenge. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like the minimalist approach that he has for like the Fremen and the ships. I think it makes it look more realistic. One major part of Dune that
what's a Fremen?
The Fremen are the people with the bright blue eyes that live on Arrakis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like Zendaya.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of them, I don't know if you noticed him in the trailer. They barely showed him in the first trailer, but Javier Bardem is one of them too.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I saw Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not a Fremen. He's Duncan, Idaho, and he's from the planet Caladan. That is for House Atreides. Do you know who else is from House Atreides in that trailer? Just based on that trailer?
Paul, his mom, and his dad.
Right. So Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Right. And then
I got that. I know
okay.
their family, and Rebecca Ferguson's the mom. I
right.
know that.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah. So I mean, that's something we should discuss. I mean, don't you think that the cast alone is like a really well put together cast?
Yeah, the cast is exciting.
Yeah.
There are lots of movies, though, that have a really good cast that do not use them optimally. So we'll see about that.
Oh, I got a feeling I know how Shari feels about this movie.
I don't feel like I can say much. It's a trailer. It's not the movie. To me, it's like it was heavy on explosions and special effects, and that's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
But I know that gets people excited. I'm much more excited in like the dialogue that they let us hear.
Yeah.
I want to see some character development. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see more stuff about Paul and his family.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to get it. Sort of one of the most iconic moments in Dune, and it's in David Lynch's movie, and I think it's even in the miniseries that was on the Sci-Fi Channel, is this discussion between Paul and his dad. It's in the book where he kind of talks about who is he going to become, right? Like, what's his destiny? And
yeah, they have a little of that.
Yeah, that's like the last line of dialogue in the trailer. To me, I mean, this is a very long trailer. It's over 3 minutes long. And
How long's a normal trailer?
When you get to the second trailer, it can be over 3 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The teaser is usually like a little over a minute. The second one is usually like 3 minutes plus.
Okay.
But I find the problem with that is that they show pretty much the entire movie. You can kind of piece it together.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the trend.
And I mean, it looks like Dune. You know, it's David Lynch's Dune again, and then it's the Sci-Fi Channel Dune. It's the story that we all know and love, and that's okay. But one thing, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but this is a movie that's broken into two parts. So this is just the first part that we're seeing the trailer for.
What do you mean? There's going to be two movies?
There's two of these movies, yeah.
All based on the first book?
On the first book.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Are they each like 3 hours long? Like The Hobbit?
No.
Remember they did that with The Hobbit?
They took The Hobbit, which is a small book, and they made it into 3-hour plus long movies.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's not that. It's I think it's just like 2 hours and change for each one.
Okay.
And yeah. Kind of like It. Remember how they broke It down into 2 movies?
Yeah, but that's a big book.
Yeah, Dune's not as big as It, that's for sure. Yeah. So with this, you know, we kind of all know what to expect, or at least the people that are big Dune fans like me. Like I got my, you know, Dune shirt on that your brother got me. I got, Baron Harkonnen over there that your brother got me too.
Yeah.
Your brother knows I like Dune, so.
He likes Dune also.
Yeah. And what'd you think? You saw him in the trailer for a minute too, Baron Harkonnen.
Oh, like floating up there? Yeah, that looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you were talking about before, actors being used to their full potential. Like, I think Stellan Skarsgård, I think that he can be a great villain. And so I think he's well cast.
Okay. I didn't even see him. Who is he?
He's the Baron Harkonnen.
Oh, did they show him up close?
They showed him, like, float like that, and I think they, like, kind of showed him, like, look, there he is. They showed him, like, rubbing his face.
Oh, gross. He's gross.
Yeah, there he is.
He's a little yucky.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw him float. I didn't see it, get a good look at his face and see who the actor was. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not the best person to assess this trailer. Like I said, I'm just interested in kind of like the love story and this girl appearing in his dreams. And I'm always interested in the idea of a chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that and how that will come to be.
Yeah. Yeah, he has this destiny to, you know, potentially be among the Fremen, right? And do you think that they kind of gave away too much by the end of the trailer?
No.
I mean, the fact is that he had the blue eyes, right? And then he was wearing that kind of armor at the end.
Yeah, they showed everybody having the blue eyes.
Not everybody.
I mean, maybe not everybody, but I mean, I guess I already know. Doesn't everybody know that?
That he is like with the Fremen and stuff. Yeah, I mean, even if you just see the poster for David Lynch's Dune, you know this.
Look, I don't even know the whole Dune story. I just know that spice is like a drug and everybody wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's only on one planet, Arrakis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked, speaking of Zendaya, or Zendaya, am I saying it wrong?
I think it's Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has like a little bit of dialogue in the very beginning of the trailer. She talks about how Arrakis is beautiful. And often when you read the books, you're constantly reminded of how like vicious and inhospitable Arrakis is. And so I like that the Fremen would consider it to be beautiful. And then they did this great job of saying like, oh, well, it's the outsiders that come. And they showed kind of the Harkonnen. I say Harkonnen. They kind of pronounce it like Harkonnen.
Mm.
Did you notice that? I say Harkonnen. Probably everyone's going to be saying Harkonnen. But they made it look like they were really brutal. I don't know if you saw Dave Bautista at one point.
Yeah, I did. And to me, it looked like kind of a Vikings thing where these people come and rape and pillage on her lands. That was kind of her, like her take on it. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, and that imagery was pretty disturbing. I mean, they had like a pile of corpses that was on fire at one point.
Yeah, so is she going to appear in like Timothy Chalamet's dreams because she needs his help for her planet?
Well, I mean, like a little bit of spoilers, I guess. Spoilers.
I mean, you don't have to answer that. That's my impression from the trailer.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's not answer that then.
Okay, that was my impression from the trailer, is that she's kind of calling out to him for help.
Sure.
Psychically.
Yeah.
And they have, I didn't really like the humor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm really glad you brought that up. Yeah, they definitely stuck humor in this where it was devoid of humor in the previous trailer.
I kind of want it to be devoid of humor. I don't want that kind of humor.
Did you notice the 2 actors that they picked for the comedic lines in the trailer? Did you notice which ones it was?
Yeah, Aquaman.
Right, Jason Momoa. Do you know who the other one was?
Oscar Isaac?
Well, kind of, right? He says it
He says the smile thing.
He says that to Josh Brolin, right? And so you're like Aquaman for Jason Momoa. You know, obviously he's from Justice League and stuff, right? But then Josh Brolin he's Cable and Deadpool, and then he's also Thanos, right?
Yeah, so they're trying to like emulate that.
Right.
That superhero thing, and I'm like, don't do that. This is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I consider doing a pretty serious thing.
It is.
Does it mean there can't be humor?
I mean,
not that kind. I don't want that kind.
Yeah.
I don't want that macho guy humor.
Yeah. There's a bit of that in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, he like felt his arm. It was about muscles.
Yeah, he said,
it couldn't be more macho.
Right. He said, you're getting bigger, and then he's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what else is there. Our dogs are kind of.
There was fashion.
Okay.
I will say, like, what did you think of their outfits?
I think that all of the production design looks great. The outfits, the buildings.
Timothy Chalamet looks like he's wearing almost like a priest outfit.
Yeah.
Like he's got a white collar and the black suit. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was kind of cool. It looked more modern. Like whereas I feel like in the past when I've seen Dune costumes, it's more like Star Wars and almost more like Dungeons and Dragons-y. This looked more like military to me, modern military.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one thing I wanted to bring up too is like when you read all the Dune books that aren't necessarily part of the main series, but they're like spin-off books by Frank Herbert's son and Kevin J. Anderson, there's a lot of talk about the nobility. And there's nobility in the books too, the Frank Herbert books. But they always seem so like extravagant and opulent, right? And that's what I thought was missing from this is like you're saying it looks chic, right? And like
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's a take. I mean, you don't have to like it, but I liked it. And it wasn't what I was expecting. So I think it was, like I said, it's someone's vision, and they're going with it. It reminds me of when Kenneth Branagh adapted Hamlet. He made it kind of military. Like they're not dressed like Shakespearean characters in that movie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's maybe a 4-hour plus Hamlet adaptation. It's really good though. And it has an intermission and everything. But I digress. Anyway, he like makes everybody kind of more military because there is battle and stuff in Hamlet, and he plays that up. And I really liked it.
Yeah, well,
there's room for interpretation. It's a book. You can do all kinds of things visually.
They did show some stuff like from Caladan. That's the planet that they come from originally.
Who?
Paul and his family, the Atreides family.
Okay.
And I think that's where you saw a lot of that military outfit. And I really liked the Caladan footage. There was this one great shot where they were on like one of their ships, and someone, it was either Oscar Isaac or Timothy Chalamet, were looking off the ship, and like the cape was flowing. I thought that was really cool. I mean, visually, I think it looks fantastic.
I'm sure that's where a lot of money's going.
Yeah.
I mean, I expect it to look good. What's going on with the mom where she's got all that stuff on her face?
That's got to be from like a dream or something. There's also like a ceremony that she could potentially go through in this movie, and maybe they make some stuff on her. They like put some stuff on her face. But
I feel like the trailer implies, and I don't know this, that the parents are going to sacrifice themselves for their son.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but
yeah, I mean, there's some talk between the mom and dad though about it.
Yeah,
you got to protect them with your life.
Yeah. I mean, as you can see, there's some kind of like uprising that happens, and it gets kind of violent, and things go kind of south for their family.
What did you think of the worm?
I haven't been as impressed with the worm in the trailers, honestly. It almost seems like an afterthought. They do a fantastic job of focusing on the main characters' faces, their dialogue,
their blue eyes,
the ships, and like the action, right? And they do a great job of all that. But then the worm itself, like I feel like the worm should convey this sense of like, oh my God, this is so big, this is so scary.
You want more of a Jurassic Park kind of feeling?
Yes.
Yeah, and you don't get it?
Yeah, I think that even the David Lynch worm is more intimidating than what I've seen in this so far.
Maybe they haven't showed it all.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if they were smart, I think they would save something like the worm, maybe for a surprise. Don't give all that away. I wouldn't.
I agree with you on that. They did kind of like blow their worm load, sort of, right? By like showing it come out of the ground and like being right in front of Paul.
Right, that should be like a spectacular moment that's like hidden from until you pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying maybe there's more to it. So maybe there will be something more spectacular.
Yeah. They I think they had to show a worm though, because I think so many people that don't really know what Dune is about, like, oh, that's the thing with the worms, right? The worms in the sand.
You feel like everyone knows that?
That's what I think they associate with Dune, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
they make the spice, right?
They do. That's right. So, Shari, just I guess before we wrap this up, just like I just was wondering what you thought about Jason Momoa. I know you kind of mentioned him already with his humor, but they showed quite a bit of his character. Did you have anything else to say about him? Or Oscar Isaac?
I don't like Jason Momoa.
Like the person or the character in the movie?
I don't like him as an actor.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't helpful to me. I'm trying to be nice, but I was rolling my eyes about him.
Recently, Shari and I, we were on an airplane, right? And they had Aquaman on, and I watched it without sound. I've seen Aquaman before in the theater, and I've seen it with in the airport or the airplane without sound, right? And I have to say, the guy's pretty charismatic, even when he wasn't talking. Like just the way that he looks and moves and stuff. I think that he's a good choice after all for this character of Duncan Idaho. I don't think like physically that's what anyone had ever imagined Duncan looked like looking like Jason Momoa, but he definitely has swagger. You don't think he has swagger?
Okay, I just don't care for it. And maybe I've read some things about him that kind of turned me off too, but...
didn't he have some kind of like controversy with Amber Heard or something on Aquaman?
Yeah, she had some experiences with him that she talked about, but I know a lot of people aren't fans of her, so maybe they wouldn't listen to her. I don't know. That's not all I've read. I've read some things about him that I'm not crazy about.
Yeah. The only reason why I was bringing up Oscar Isaac is just because I'm a big fan of his, and he's worked with.
I like him a lot too, but he's like in those the Star Wars. Yeah, and I feel like he's wasted. That's what I mean. It's like he is a very good actor, and he's. I'm usually excited to see him in a film, but after the Star Wars movies, I was like, oh, I see how you can take someone like Oscar Isaac and do absolutely nothing with him, and he won't even bring anything good to the movie. So yeah. I just hope it's not like that in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with Timothée Chalamet. He's wonderful if you give him a chance.
Yeah.
Is he just going to be fighting? Because that is not what that kid is good at.
No. There's a lot more to Paul than fighting. That's for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to be like, oh, well, I've seen Oscar Isaac in movies by Denis Villeneuve, but he hasn't actually. For some reason, I was kind of mixing up, Ex Machina and Annihilation, but that's a totally different director.
Oh, that director must like him.
Right.
Yeah, and he's good in those, especially Ex Machina is so good.
Is it Alex Garland? I think that's his name. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. It's embarrassing. But he's good in these sci-fi roles, right? Yeah. So other than Star Wars, he's good in these sci-fi roles.
Yeah, and he's a mobster in that one movie.
Oh, yes, A History of Violence? No.
A Year of Violence. Yeah, I think. Anyway, I really liked him in that.
That is great. I love that movie, too. Yeah. All right, well, I think that's Shari's kind of little sign that we've talked enough about a 3-minute trailer. Talked for about 17 minutes.
I told Pete we should not be going over 10 minutes on a 3-minute.
Yeah, we just talked about this on here for Anchorpete because we covered it before, and even though we don't really do sci-fi on Anchorpete, we are big fans of Denis Villeneuve, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say we don't do sci-fi. We do what we like.
We do what we like.
Right, and you're excited about Dune, and I'm interested, so.
Yeah. So we'll let you know when the movie comes out what we think. Shari's going to be there with a big tub of popcorn.